Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood parts of hypnosis, the induction. Yeah, forget the swinging pocket watches and all that movie stuff. We're going to break down what's really going on when someone goes into a trance.
So, you've definitely seen this, right? On TV, maybe a street performer, a quick handshake, a sharp command, and bam, someone just slumps over into a trance. But is that the whole story? Or is there something else going on? Let's get into it.
Here's how we're going to demystify this whole thing. We'll start by busting that instant trance myth wide open. Then we'll get into what a real induction is, check out the different techniques, look at the practitioner's toolkit, and then cover the really critical parts, consent and how you gently return.
Okay, first things first. Let's tackle that super dramatic instant trance you see in shows. Because it's not quite what it looks like. So what you're seeing on stage, that's not really an induction. It's more like a trigger. The person has already been hypnotized backstage, and they've been given a post-hypnotic suggestion, like the word sleep. Street hypnosis is a bit different. It uses shock, a pattern interrupt, to create this tiny, maybe 30-second window where someone is highly suggestible. In both cases, though, it's performance, not therapy.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Professional hypnotherapy is never, ever about shock value. The entire thing is built on safety, comfort, and trust. A jarring shock induction would just completely shatter that relationship between the client and the practitioner.
Okay, so if it's not some sudden snap of the fingers, then what exactly is a hypnotic induction?
Right, so instead of a switch being flipped, it's more like a guide helping you walk down a path toward deep focus. It is absolutely a collaborative process. You're always in control. You're just allowing your awareness to really zero in on one thing and letting all the other distractions just kind of fade into the background.
And that guided journey? Well, it can take a few different forms. Let's take a look at the techniques practitioners use, because one size most definitely does not fit all here. The practitioner's toolkit is actually pretty diverse. On one end, you have something like progressive muscle relaxation. It's slow, takes maybe 20 minutes, and it's awesome for groups or recordings. But on the other end of the spectrum, you've got a rapid induction. That can get someone into a trance in under 5 minutes, which makes it super effective for one-on-one clinical therapy.
But, it's not just about the specific technique you choose. There is a real artistry to guiding someone into a trance. It's less about what you say and way more about how you say it.
This part is so fascinating. Practitioners use what's called patter to turn distractions, like, say, a truck driving by, into anchors to help you go even deeper. And you can forget that cliched monotone movie voice. An authentic, genuine voice is way more effective. Get this, there's a story about a practitioner who once put his daughter into a relaxing trance just by reading Eminem lyrics. It just proves that the hypnotic quality comes from the rhythm and the pacing, not the words themselves.
Okay, now we're at what might be the single most crucial step in this whole process. It's incredibly simple, it's direct, and it is absolutely non-negotiable.
This is what's called the hypnotic contract. And it's called a contract for a reason. It's a clear, verbal agreement. It's that final checkpoint for safety, for comfort, and to make sure the person is an active, willing partner in what's about to happen. So why is this one simple question so vital? Well, because it really acts as a final gateway. It gives the person a very clear moment to just pause and address any last-minute needs, or even worries, before the session really kicks off.
It's about so much more than just confirming consent. It creates this space for someone to say, actually, could I get a drink of water first? Or maybe voice a little fear they were hesitant to bring up earlier. This simple question completely empowers the individual, and it makes them an active participant in their own journey.
All right, so you've been guided into this peaceful, focused trance. How do you come out? And what about that old myth? Is it possible to get stuck? This quote is just incredible. It actually comes from a famous story where a man was in such a deep trance that he just chose to ignore a fire alarm going off. So you see, the myth isn't really about being stuck. It's that the state can feel so pleasant, so free of pain or stress, that people just don't want to leave. He heard everything, he just decided he felt too good to move.
To make sure you don't feel all groggy and startled, practitioners don't just snap you out of it. They use this gentle 1 to 5 count up, and they layer in all these positive suggestions at each step. So when you come back to full awareness, you feel refreshed and just fantastic.
This really shows how the entire process, from the very first word to that final moment you open your eyes, is designed for a positive outcome. That very first moment of eye contact is actually a key opportunity to reinforce the session's benefits and really lock in that success.
So, when you get right down to it, hypnosis isn't about mind control. It's a partnership that unlocks this incredible state of focused attention. Now that you know how it really works, the real question is, what could you achieve if you harness that focus? Thanks for joining us.